Hello all and welcome to All Red. Liverpool are building an empire and they're doing it the right way. They're laying a solid foundation for years to come, and that foundation is what we need to talk about today. We are going to talk about and break down the new Liverpool Football Club leadership team and the structure. And we're going to pull it up here and outline it. You see a lot of empty space, but we're going to fill that in with like 20 different guys that are going to comprise and be the leaders, really, the back room for Liverpool for hopefully many years to come. So let's start at the very top with Mike Gordon. President of FSG, Mike Gordon is the president of Fenway Sports Group. Obviously, that's the ownership group that owns Liverpool Football Club. And he has been significantly involved for, I don't know, what has it been, about 10 years in managing Liverpool's operations. He actually, since 2010, so it's been about 14 years, which is crazy. He joined the board of directors when FSG purchased the club in 2010. So really, he was brought on to be really the overarching manager of Liverpool, including staff changes, hiring key people like Michael Edwards. Gordon's been a big figurehead at the very top of FSG and Liverpool. He's based in the U.S. Obviously, all the ownership group is based in the U.S. since they are in Boston. FSG owns the Red Sox as well, so that's an American baseball team. So nothing new here with Mike Gordon. And then our fearless leader, John W. Henry. You've seen this guy before. He's usually at the ceremonies at Anfield over the last 14 years. This dude's got a very extensive background in sports and business. Before being involved with Liverpool and FSG, he founded a global investment management firm and has done a lot of commodity trading. So, billionaire. He owns the Boston Globe and does obviously owns the Red Sox as well, and then also does some PGA Tour stuff. So, for all you golfer fans out there, John W. Henry has his hands in some golf. All right, Tom Werner. He's the chairman of FSG, has done a lot in the sports and television worlds. He owned the San Diego Padres. I actually didn't know that until just now. But Tom Werner has done a lot. I feel like out of these three, he's probably the least involved in the day-to-day with Liverpool. But there's our trio of the ownership group here at Liverpool Football Club. Let's move on. And we're going to go down the right side here. This is kind of the right, we could say left versus right, but this is kind of the business side of Liverpool. Billy Hogan, he's been with Liverpool before. He was the managing director and chief commercial officer. And, you don't hear about this guy a whole lot. But Billy Hogan, he's played a key role in bringing in funds, bringing in additional monies into Liverpool, and really solidifying them financially. And so this dude, he's consistent, brings a lot of stability financially to Liverpool. I'm glad he's still here. I'm glad they've retained him because he knows the club, and he'll continue to do his job like he's been doing. So Billy Hogan, chief executive for the international division. So that's with FSG. So obviously Liverpool are international to FSG because they're U.S. based. Billy Hogan is that guy. So Andy Hughes is next. He is FSG's managing director. He's had a number of roles at Liverpool over the last 10 to 11 years. He was actually the chief financial officer, I think, for Liverpool. And now he's on the FSG side, so kind of a bigger role more broadly. He's not just with Liverpool. He's working under the FSG umbrella, but he'll still have his hand in financial matters for FSG and for Liverpool. And again, just a guy who's been with the club and in and around the club for the last 10 to 11 years brings a lot of stability. So I think that's a win that Liverpool have retained him. Again, think about Liverpool back in 2010, close to administration, which is bad, very bad. It's almost like you'd have to kind of give up your team to the league and you're at their mercy. That's when FSG came in and purchased the club for around £300 million. And what's crazy now is you've seen the work of Billy Hogan, Andy Hughes, these guys on this kind of FSG leadership, financial, business side of the club. And now Liverpool are worth over $5 billion and are one of the most financially stable clubs in the world. They've just done really good business over the last 14 years. And so these guys, while you're not going to see them on the sidelines at matches, there's a lot that they've just done really well. So I'm thankful they're still here, and they're going to continue to work with Liverpool. Let's move on. We've got one more guy over here, and that is Ben Laddie, the commercial director. Ben Laddie, overseeing commercial strategies and initiatives for FSG. So again, on this business side, just kind of working deals, things like sponsorships, different. There's so many different sponsors of Liverpool. But these three are kind of on the FSG side, so they work with other elements of FSG, but obviously have a big part to play in Liverpool's business dealings, and they do a fantastic job. So now that we've kind of covered the business side of FSG, let's move over to the football side. We've got Michael Edwards, who still now works for FSG. He doesn't just work under the Liverpool umbrella, but he is the CEO of football operations for FSG, which means there are future plans to expand FSG's portfolio of football clubs beyond just Liverpool. Liverpool, the only football club owned by FSG at this point, but we know they have future plans to go out and purchase other clubs in other parts of the world. And Michael Edwards will CEO that business all over. And we've talked extensively about Michael Edwards. Michael Edwards is nothing short of a genius when it comes to football deals, players, managers. He is, I think, the envy of, at least in England, maybe in the world. I know a lot of clubs wanted him after he left Liverpool, a couple of years ago, and he held out. I don't know if this was always his plan to come back, but Michael Edwards is the boss. And now he has such a greater role within FSG and really overseeing all of Liverpool for FSG. I am excited because I would have no other dude running the operations, the day-to-day operations at Liverpool Football Club. This guy is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So he's the guy that brought in Klopp, essentially. He wasn't in charge back then, but he scouted and recommended Klopp. He's the guy that brought in players like Van Dijk, Mane, Salah, and really anyone else over the last 10 to 11 years. Michael Edwards is that guy. So very, very excited. If there's one guy on this whole chart that I'm super excited about, it's got to be Michael Edwards. I'm very excited for Arne Slot to come in and manage Liverpool. But Michael Edwards is like the maestro. He's the puppeteer. He's the guy. And he's going to run this club in the best way possible because we've already seen him do that. So Michael Edwards, the CEO of football for FSG. and he is running the show. Let's move on to Julian Ward. He is the technical director for FSG. And a word about Julian Ward. He was, so he's been with Liverpool before. He was the sporting director. So he held the position that Michael Edwards once held and the position that now Mr. Hughes, Mr. Richard Hughes holds at Liverpool. And, he's done a lot of work in and around the club. He extended Jota, extended Mo Salah, their contracts. Excuse me, my goodness. And he's done some stuff with player development and scouting, in particular in South America and Iberia. So he's had a lot of stuff, a lot of influence over the club for the last 5 to 6 years. And I'm excited for his role. I think he's going to do a fantastic job. He reports up to Michael Edwards, and he's going to thrive, I think, and continue to thrive because he's done really good work. So he will have the technical oversight within the organization for FSG, and obviously he'll have a big part to play in Liverpool Football Club. Let's talk about Richard Hughes, but before we talk about Richard Hughes, we need to talk about Pedro Marquez. Where are you, Pedro? There you are. Pedro Marquez, he is the FSG Director of Football Development. He's going to have a large focus on developing the youth players underneath FSG. So right now it's Liverpool's youth, and in the future it could be other clubs that FSG is interested in purchasing. So he is going to have a key role of taking what is currently working at Liverpool, right? Liverpool have a strong youth coalition coming through the ranks. We saw that this past year with the likes of Connor Bradley, Jaden Dans, Bobby Clark, and others who are coming, Gerald Kwanzaa, who are coming up through Liverpool's youth program and having a huge impact on the first team. And we saw, I think it was 5 youth players, 21 and under, playing in that cup final against Chelsea and ultimately winning it. And that's huge. That's huge for FSG's model for how to build a strong, thriving, long-lasting football club. You can't go out and spend 100, 200 million pounds every time the transfer window opens. That's just not sustainable. But if you lay the foundation over a decade or 2 decades to develop the youth in your system to where you're the one producing all this talent up through the ranks, now you have so many more resources to pour into other elements of the club because you're not having to spend $100 million to bring in top players every time the transfer window opens. Now, obviously, you have to do that sometimes. But think about some of the clubs across the world. Like I think about, Ajax. Ajax does a great job of developing players that then other top clubs in the world say, I want to buy that player for 100 million pounds. Liverpool, I think, are trying to do that same thing, except they're not going to be the selling club. They're the destination club, and these young players coming up through the ranks, now overseen by Pedro Marquez, is just going to be crucial for the health of Liverpool Football Club long term. So Marquez is renowned for his analytical approach to player development. He fits right in with Michael Edwards. He fits right in with Arne Slot. These are guys that are driven by analytics, driven by the data. They're smart, and Marquez is going to be the guy to develop these young players. And I'm excited for that because we already have some really, really strong talent coming up through the ranks, and I think he's just going to make that even stronger. So he's worked under managers like Roberto Mancini and Manuel Pellegrini. And he's got a really good track record, very proven track record. Almost seems like, how do we get this guy? Shouldn't he be in line for maybe a greater role at another club? But we got him. So I can't believe at the talent I'm looking at already. And we're not even down to our management, our coaching staff. And here's another guy that seems like, how did we get this guy? So Richard Hughes is our sporting director. So he's going to be kind of the spearhead for transfers and really kind of that role that Michael Edwards played for a while Klopp was here. So he's going to be the guy to kind of pull the trigger, and obviously oversight by Michael Edwards, but he's going to be that guy who's going out and bring in players, bring in those transfer targets, and get those deals done. So, I'm really excited that he's got Michael Edwards overseeing his work. But, Richard Hughes on his own is also very good at what he does. He was very successful at Bournemouth, where we kind of took him from this past couple months, this past year. He's brought in players like Ramsdale, Nathan Ake, Dominic Solanke, which he got obviously from Liverpool, and those players have been very good. So Richard Hughes, don't sleep on him. He's going to be great in this role, and he's got great guys around him to help him thrive and really become probably one of the best sporting directors in the world. Very excited to see what he can do. All right, maybe it's the moment you've been waiting for. You've probably heard of this guy, Arne Slot, the new head coach for Liverpool Football Club. Now, he's not the manager of Liverpool. He's the new head coach because we're doing things a little differently now. We're not putting the same titles on things that we used to. So Arne Slot's the guy. He's going to be the guy, the first team head coach, running the show. You'll see him on the sidelines. I don't need to say a whole lot about this guy because if you're familiar with Liverpool at all, you've probably heard this name 1,000 times over the last couple months. But we'll just do a quick recap on Arne Slot's career and what he's done. So obviously we got him from Feyenoord. He's been in the Dutch league really his entire career and now makes the jump to I think was still probably the best league in the world, the most competitive league in the world, even with 115 FC. But Arne Slot comes in with really a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of experience, and brings some really exciting elements to Liverpool Football Club. Things like just an analytical approach, a strong work ethic. Arne Slot brings in really innovative methodology to the way that he manages his teams. This has got to be number 2, right? Under Michael Edwards. I'm probably a little bit more excited for Arne Slot just because of the day-to-day watching the matches. He's going to have the most influence there. But obviously Michael Edwards is going to be the puppeteer, doing everything in the background. But Arne Slot, I am so excited to see what he does with this team, this core team. It almost feels like Klopp, Liverpool 2.0 under Klopp was this unrefined gem, and Klopp just didn't have the energy to continue to chisel it down and make it beautiful. And now Arne Slot gets to come in with an unbelievable wealth of talent that he's never been exposed to before at his former clubs. And he gets to come in with his new ideas, with his new energy, with his innovation, with his ability to adapt, his ability to lead, his ability to inspire, which might be the most important element that he brings in, because the talent is already there. He doesn't have to come in. Arne Slot does not have to come in and do what Klopp did 9 years ago, where he basically had to start from scratch and build up a team from nothing, and basically buy, what was it, like 10 players, 10 players to fill out his starting 11. I think Roberto Firmino might have been the only guy that was already there when he came in, and he had to really spend 3 or 4 years building that team, transfers, a lot of money, some sales of key players. Arne Slot doesn't have to do that. He's got a super strong core that just finished third in the Premier League, was leading the Premier League for large portions of the season, only to peter out with 2 months to go. So there's a lot that Arne Slot has to work with, and he doesn't have to spend 2 to 3 years in the transfer market rebuilding a team. He's got it. He's got really all the talent he needs right now. I think we're going to see a couple transfers, but he's got a lot to work with. So anyways, that's Arne Slot. Let's talk about this guy, Sipke. Sipke, is that how you say his name? Sipke Hulshoff. That sounds about right. He's a Dutch guy. So again, if you've watched some of my videos, I'm not the most proficient at these international player names and manager names, okay? Cleven Kelleher, Sipke Hulshoff. Did I get that right? That sounds pretty good. Sipke Hulshoff, he has worked with Arne Slot before, worked at Feyenoord, and has worked with the Dutch national team as well. This guy is we're going to see him on the sidelines. He's going to have that Pep Linders role where he'll be sitting next to Arne Slot, helping him with the in-game analysis and the training ground stuff. This guy has a great scowl on him. I don't know if he smiles as much as Arne Slot, because all the pictures I looked up of Sipke, he was just scowling, which is good. You need good cop, bad cop. But Sipke Hulshoff, he's got a ton of experience, and I don't know if this makes a huge difference, but our Dutch core, right, all the way up through the middle of the field, you've got Virgil van Dijk, you've got Cody Gakpo, you've got Ryan Gravenberch, and potentially a couple more Dutch players maybe coming in this summer. I think that's something. There's something there with kind of that Dutch core, with the coaching staff and the players, our Kapitan Virgil van Dijk. But Sipke Hulshoff is, he's not a flashy name, but I think he's going to be great next to Arne Slot, and he'll be a great support, hard worker, and does a really good job in really everywhere he's been. So let's talk about, not David Woodfine, not yet, David, get out of here. We need to talk about Ruben Peters. Ruben, where are you? There you are, Ruben. Ruben Peters, head of performance. Now, this is rather interesting because I think this is a very important position at Liverpool Football Club. Okay, if you followed Liverpool this past year, you know that we were plagued with injuries. It was out of control. And how much of that is on the training staff? I don't know. But Ruben Peters is coming in. He's a young guy, and he's coming in from Feyenoord, so he's worked with Slot before, and we know that Arne Slot is big on not wearing down his players. He wants them to train hard. He wants them to play hard, but he also wants them to last and not get injured through fatigue. So Ruben Peters I'm super excited they were able to bring him in. I don't think there was any doubt that he wouldn't follow Slot if Slot wanted him to come over, but this guy's going to play an integral part in Liverpool's fitness, in Liverpool's ability to stay healthy. I feel like if Liverpool, with this core, can stay healthy, the sky's the limit. I mean, what would have happened this season if we had minimal injuries? Minimal injuries to guys like Alisson and Trent Alexander-Arnold and Szoboszlai, Jota. Like, where would we have gone? What would be the limit to what they can achieve? I think it would have been a lot different if we didn't have guys out for several months at a time, all at the same time. So Ruben Peters is a key figure for Liverpool as they look to keep players healthy. And I'm excited that he's here because he's got a good track record. And him and Slot know kind of how to manage those players in their playing time. All right, let's move on to David Woodfine. David Woodfine coming in as the assistant sporting director. So he's going to be working with Richard Hughes, underneath Richard Hughes. And he has been with Liverpool before. So he was the director of loan management. So he worked with, loaning players in and out. And he's done some scouting and recruiting for Liverpool as well. He joined Liverpool back in 2014 and was a part of some of those strategic player acquisitions and loans in and out. So, he's worked with Michael Edwards before, and it's no surprise that he is back to work underneath him and Richard Hughes once again. All right, William Spearman, Director of Research. If you see this guy around the training grounds, he might be wearing a lab coat, looking into a telescope or a microscope, rather. No, I don't think he'll be doing that. But William Spearman is going to be a part of this new Liverpool machine that really approaches everything in a smart manner. So he's one of the club's leading data scientists. Listen to this. He's got a PhD in physics from Harvard University. You can kind of see that hairline a little bit right there. We could probably zoom in on that just a little bit. That looks like a PhD hairline right there. William, well done. We love you. We love that you're smart. You're smarter than me. We love your hairline. So well done there. So this guy's like ridiculously smart. He did research at Harvard, and that involved a measurement of the mass and width of the newly discovered Higgs boson through a collaboration with the European Organization for Nuclear Research. What the heck, William? Why are you working for Liverpool Football Club? You are a nuclear scientist. Dare I say that William Spearman may have a hand in Liverpool's explosive growth. Okay? That right there was a joke that I just came up with, I promise. So he has transitioned from theoretical physics to football analytics. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah. Yep. So we've got a smart guy right here. William Spearman, everybody. Look out, because he is going to research a lot of things, and it's going to be amazing. All right, we got two more here. David Fallows. Look at that scowl. Really he's kind of rivaling Sipka right now with the scowl. That's a really good scowl. Dave Fallows, head of recruitment. This is the guy that's going to be, going to international matches and matches in like Portugal and stuff to recruit players, to research players. And Dave Fallows is the guy to do that and to do it well. Dave Fallows, here we go. I got him locked in. So he's been with Liverpool before, and he came in from Manchester City in 2012. So he's been here 12 years. And, if you think about who Liverpool have brought in the past 12 years, very impressive. He played a very crucial role in signing a player by the name of Mohamed Salah. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but among other players, but had a crucial role in bringing in Mohamed Salah, and is really good at what he does. So, yeah. So he stays. Dave Fallows, scowling all the way, and it's a really good scowl that brings me much joy. All right, last guy on the list, Barry Hunter. This is the guy that it's funny because he's the chief scout. Well, he's going to go hunt talent, right? He's going to be the chief hunter. Barry. He's going to be out there hunting berries, ripe berries for the picking. All right, this analogy is getting a little weird. So again, he's right along with Dave Fallows. Came in from Manchester City in 2012, and again, he's been with Liverpool for about 12 years, and he's done really good work at Liverpool, and is kind of responsible for overseeing the club's scouting network, and making sure the club is monitoring the best talent in the world. So, whew, all right, there it is. This is not like the most unique leadership team in the world, but man, is there some ridiculous talent on this board right now. I would be shocked if this looked the same in 2 to 3 years, because some of these guys are going to get poached for bigger roles at other clubs. It's just the way it's going to work, because it's almost like some of these guys might be a little overqualified, but they are somehow FSG, maybe it's Michael Edwards, the magician, has managed to get all of these really talented guys to come in and do a job at Liverpool. I mean, just think about, William Spearman, nuclear physicist or whatever, and now he's going to be doing research for Liverpool Football Club. It's just amazing. It's just so fun. So this is a testament to the health and wellness of Liverpool Football Club, and it just goes to show you that FSG, fans have hated on him, they have, but FSG over the last 14 years has really done a fantastic job of managing Liverpool Football Club, owning Liverpool Football Club, turning them from a club that was down in the dumps, a club that was close to administration, into a top 5 most valuable club in the entire world. And they've done a fantastic job. So seems like they're here for the long haul. There were rumors of them selling maybe a year or two ago. Seems like they're building this thing for the long haul. And I'm here for it. I'm excited for that. So there it is. Liverpool Football Club's new leadership team in place. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you can talk to your mates at the pub later about William Spearman and his background in nuclear physics, and impress somebody there. But anyways, up the Reds, up Mike Gordon, up Michael Edwards, and the rest of Liverpool football's leadership team. Thanks for watching this all red clip. If you liked the video, click the like button and comment below. Let me know something about whatever it is you want to say. And of course, consider joining the All Red community by subscribing to this channel. It's fast, it's easy, it's free, and it's all red. And you're welcome to stay here and keep watching this video as long as you like. But I actually need to go. So thank you. I'll see you later.